When it's particularly bad, imposter syndrome can colour the whole of your day, affecting your interactions, decision making and confidence. But for many of us, it may simply arise as a negative crisis during a particular stressful situation. If you've ever said any of the following to yourself, then you know what I'm talking about. If you've ever said to yourself, I shouldn't be doing this, I'm not cut out for this, I'm out of my depth, I'm going to be found out as a fraud, this job, this person, this situation is too good for me, I don't know what I'm doing, why did I think I could manage having my own business? The list of negative thoughts can be horribly long, but let me say this, they're only thoughts, negative, critical voices that can take over during moments of vulnerability. Imposter syndrome can rear its ugly head at work, but also in personal situations like parenting or family dynamics, where you might wonder why you ever thought you make a great parent. Regardless of what the trigger is for your imposter syndrome, I've developed a few ways of working around it. First of all, you need to understand the danger. It may sound dramatic, but imposter syndrome is dangerous. That's because when the negativity gets very loud, the critical thoughts can become very powerful to the extent of changing our behaviour and affecting our decisions. Even when the voice isn't real, that doesn't mean that if I left it to its own devices, that it won't start to present real problems to you. Understanding that thoughts affect behaviour and that behaviour affects outcomes and results is super important. Thoughts can become self-fulfilling prophecies, so think about the kind of prophecy you'd like. Focus on that instead of listening to doubt and fear. Next, counteract. Counteract imposter syndrome's negative criticism by actively noticing when these thoughts arrive. By acknowledging that your brain is stirring up some negative voices, you can then put them at arm's length. Simply saying to yourself, oh, there's that imposter syndrome again, coming to visit. Not helpful, thank you, can help you disconnect from the feelings and thoughts and refocus your energies on problem solving. Thirdly, take a break. Often, imposter syndrome preys on us when we're feeling overtired, overstressed, or even overworked. When we are vulnerable, we're less able to rationalise. So if you notice imposter syndrome's negativity approaching you like a little black rain cloud, give yourself permission to take a break. Change the scenery and clear your head by immersing yourself in a new task. Number 4, accept it's normal. It's the most human thing in the world to have doubt and fear. Imposter syndrome is something most people have experienced at some point, so accept that it's a normal part of life. That having these thoughts isn't strange, it isn't bizarre. Number 5, reframe the game. Reframing imposter syndrome is a lot easier when you have some tools in place to work with. And I'm going to share with you now 3 questions that I think are super powerful and are going to help you. The next time you're in a moment of doubt, ask yourself this. If you knew that everyone in the room had the same insecurity as you, how would that change your outlook? At some point in everyone's lives, we all suffer from insecurity. It's just that some people manage it better in the moment. So if you knew that everyone else felt the same as you, how would that change your outlook? Insecurity is different to reality. Challenge yourself. The second question, of which assumptions about yourself would your friends challenge? Often we can be very hard on ourselves and overly self-critical. So try to imagine what a friend of yours would say if they were to know what your imposter syndrome is telling you. My advice, if you can't actually come up with that answer yourself, is to go and ask someone that's close to you to see what their perspective is. Because quite often your own perspective will have become distorted along the way. Be kind. This last question is very powerful because it helps you to soften your critical view and turn down the volume on the negative internal narrative we tell ourselves. So take a moment to think, how would you describe yourself if you were being as kind and as generous to yourself as you are to your friends or your clients? If one of your friends or your loved ones was sad, upset, or feeling inadequate in whatever way, what would you say to them? Try saying the same things to yourself. Remember, imposter syndrome is normal. It's a normal part of life, but the sooner you learn how to handle it, the quicker you will reach your goals. Now, I'd love to hear your thoughts and your comments below. Let me know, what do you do to cope with your imposter syndrome when it rears its ugly head? Speak soon.